Hey, what is up everybody? Thank you so much for tuning into another one of my videos. And in today's video, we're gonna be discussing baked beans and the forks that have come up and whether or not you can actually make any money at all from these projects. Now, before we jump into this video, make sure you guys scroll down and like the video, and make sure you subscribe if you're new to the channel as well. Now guys, with baked beans, it got a lot of hype right off the beginning, but to be honest, I'm sure a lot of you that are invested in baked beans have been watching this contract balance get absolutely drained out by these major whales and honestly just bad actors. Now, why is this happening? Well, simply because people are not following that 6-month strategy that is meant to be followed, which in general is understood to be a community pushed strategy. But the problem with that is there's no mechanics or functionalities that are in place to actually keep people from being these bad actors. And as such, when baked beans did get exposed to such a big pump up recently, we had a lot of bad actors come in and, you know, kind of destroy the project. Now, me personally, I was hoping that the baked beans team would do something because of the fact that, you know, they're grown so rapidly and they've made a name for themselves in the DeFi space. However, what they did do is they did promise another project to be launched, and that was supposedly going to be really good. And we all saw that launch, which was Toasted Avax. Now, I personally jumped into our Discord and just talked about investing in Toasted Avax early. And if you guys aren't a part of our Discord, make sure you guys do join our Discord. We have calls and everything like that. And of course, there's no fees, no charges. And, you know, it's a good place to be around with like-minded people. Now, unfortunately, Toasted Avax was a letdown, right? It still has a decent amount of AVAX in it, but this AVAX amount has been dropping every single day. The contract balance is getting drained the same way that the baked beans contract balance has been being drained. Now, why is that? Well, that's simply because of the fact that there's no functionalities in place. All of these forks that are created exactly like baked beans have nothing different. They're all, with all due respect, they're all trash. It's just a money grab. And honestly, they're not going anywhere. And we can see that by simply visiting the contract address for baked beans, hitting an analytics right here, and it is BNB balance. So you guys can see right here, we had this run up, and what happened? Why is it not continuously growing? And that's because the team has simply not done anything. But instead, we went from a high of almost 15 million US dollar value, 35,000 BNB inside the contract balance, to now dropping all the way down almost 50% down to 19,500, what says here. But if you actually look right here, guys, they have less than 19,000 BNB inside the contract balance. That's absolutely terrible for a project like this. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, you know, the Bitcoin market is bad, crypto market is really bad right now and all that stuff, but this is not related to that, in my opinion. And if you guys don't agree with me, I'd be more than happy to hear your comments down below. Feel free to do that. But I personally think that a project that has no innovation and essentially launches a fork of itself, right? So you have one failing project, what you do is you just fork it and you put it out there again just to grab more money. That to me is not good. Now, you guys will have noticed I actually made a video on Toasted Avax, and that's because I was actually really hyped. I actually thought there was going to be something different, and that's why I invested in it. I put 20 AVAX of my own in it. But the problem with Toasted Avax is, once again, is the referral fee is 7% referral, mind you, less than baked beans because it was 12%. But still, you get 7% referral, not only one shot, but every time you compound, I give 7% to the person that referred me. And although this is kind of good for influencers such as myself, I got a lot of AVAX for free and everything, it's not good for the longevity of the project. So I don't want that. I'm trying to be in a long-term sustainable project that gives me a certain amount of money every single month, right? That is the aim of DeFi, to create that passive income so that we can all get financial freedom. If I'm simply coming here getting a buttload of AVAX from referral fees, and I know there's been a lot of people that got a shit ton of Avax, and like hats off to you, everybody, and like good for them. And even me, I got a lot of Avax, and I'm grateful for my community for that. But that's just not the way to create a long-term project. That's essentially me just taking money out of my own community. Anybody that has a bona fide intention will definitely not want that, you know. And I personally think that this fork itself was created with malicious intent, with the intent to once again just have that money grab. Now, I'm not here naming any names, and you know, I do think that the Baked Beans team potentially could do something to fix this, but the fact that they launched the Toasted Avax after Baked Beans failing is just a bad sign to me. And as you guys have seen in my previous videos, I always talk about how I want to invest in the projects that innovate on these forks, right? We had Titano come out, and then we had all these projects come out on top of that were Titano forks, and some of them were really good because of the fact that they were innovative, right? The ones that simply copy paste and just change up the name and the background color, absolute dog shit in my opinion. However, I do want to talk to you guys about projects that have been doing good. Specifically, I'm talking about BUSD Crops Farmer, BNB Crops, and BNB Crops Farmer, which is from the same team. How do I know that this has been doing good? If we click the contract address right up top, you guys can see right here they have $1.4 million in TVL right now. I scroll down and hit transactions. You guys can see that over more than 2 weeks, the project has been slowly increasing in Binance transactions. And that is really good to see. More specifically, if you look at the BNB Crops Farmer, which they launched recently, and hit analytics, right? You guys can see their BNB balance has slowly been increasing every single day. And that's something I want to be a part of, right? Now, why is this doing the same? Because essentially it's the same thing, right? They all give a good amount of APR. So this one, Baked Beans was giving 29.20, 8% a day, whereas BNB Crops Farmer is giving 6% a day, still 21.90. What's the difference? Well, as you guys can see, they have a lot of elements coded inside the contract to not allow people to abuse the contract, such as things like where you have to compound 10 times before you can even withdraw. There was anti-bot launch. They have an 80% tax if you withdraw early. You can't just compound 10 times, you know, one after the other. You have to wait 12 hours between each compound, which means you have to compound for at least 5 days. These are the things, in my opinion, that make Crops Farmer, BNB Crops Farmer, very unique and different and innovative in its space. Now, me personally, I am extremely bullish on the team itself, and they're very nice. But in general, I kind of wanted to make this video just to first of all let everybody understand why a difference is being created here and why there are bad actors. And that's simply because the contract does nothing to prevent that, right? If there's a quick way to cash grab, people will do that, and that's okay. I understand everybody has to look after their own wallet. But if you have hard-coded elements that will make the community come together, be stronger, and everybody has to follow the same rules, that's when it becomes more sustainable for the long term. And that is why, me personally, I am not invested in Baked Beans. And although I am invested in Toasted Avax, with all due respect to the community, I am not following the 6-1 strategy, as I am trying to get my own money out. I am not interested in staying in a project that has lost more than 2,500 AVAX in the last 2 days. And to me, this simply looks like the same thing as Baked Beans, where it's going to start to drop drastically. Not to mention the fact that there was rumors and people that talked about how there was a whale group that were in it before everybody else. So those guys are going to dump on me and my community, and that's something I cannot afford, nor can I put my name behind. So definitely do believe that if you guys are in Toasted Avax or Baked Beans, make out with what you can and start looking at projects that have innovated the space and have not simply just forked the code. Because if Baked Beans is not working out, guys, every other project that has forked this code will also not work. It is only the project that forked the code and further continue to develop on the code and bring something different to the table that will be doing good. Now, thank you very much, everyone, for watching this video. If you guys have suffered with Baked Beans, let me know down in the comments, and make sure you guys join our community. We are all happy to talk there, because I personally feel really bad that, you know, that they essentially have not been able to develop their project, even though they have so much money that has come into the project. I definitely did expect them to have something nicer, you know, even at least a nicer UI. Like, come on, bro, what is this UI? It looks like it was made on paint. But like, for example, you look at the UI here for BNB Crops Farmer, right? It's very interactive, it is appealing to the eye, and people will obviously want to invest. So thank you very much, guys, once again for watching my video. Make sure you guys like the video if you haven't already. And as always, guys, let's get that bag. Peace.